your Filipino freelance actor. Hello mga ko-actors! So this is again the Filipino Freelance Actor channel at meron po tayong bagong series na ang title po ay Your Filipino Freelance Actor. For this series, I've invited some respected friends and colleagues in this industry wherein they will be sharing their experiences and thoughts and tips on working in this industry. And today, I am happy to learn more about a good friend of mine. He is Rico del Rosario, also a part-time freelance actor. So let's get to know him more and learn from him how to survive in this industry.
Hi, my name is Rico del Rosario and I am a stage actor and a novelist. Do I have a job aside from being a performer? No, I don't. Not since the pandemic. But that's the way it is. I am ghostwriting for a YouTube channel which I am not at liberty to say which because the very idea of ghostwriting is you're not supposed to let anybody else know that you're writing for that person or channel. You want to make it appear that that person is so brilliant that they're coming up with all these ideas that were actually coming from a team of ghostwriters. So that's pretty much where the income is coming in through since the pandemic, but hopefully when things get back to normal, then I'll be back on stage. The writing started first. Well, the writing started earlier than the acting. I was in 4th grade. I wanted to impress my seatmate Karen Roblesa, so I dared her to write a horror story. We both would write a horror story, and we would get our classmates to judge which of these stories was scarier. She won. No surprise there. She was popular. The acting was a game to me. I fell in love with writing stories so much that because of really long summers with no gadgets, just the TV, I didn't have phones back then. We didn't have computer games. We didn't have PlayStation. So I spent my summers filling up notebooks with stories, and then I would act them out. But as far as career is concerned, I joined theater groups. Back in USD, I tried to audition for Teatro de Messino. And then when I really got serious into it, I really wanted to be super serious theater actor. I didn't want to skirt around the idea anymore. Just want to be full on. This is it. I want to do this in spite of what my parents were saying, in spite of their objections. I enrolled in the Department of Speech and Theater Arts in their theater arts program, and I got in, and that's how pretty much my education, my formal education at least, as an actor began. I can't sing, which is, I'm a terrible singer. I'm a passable dancer. I think, with a little rehearsal, maybe a little more than usual. But I'm a pretty good straight play actor. That's my thing. I love doing straight plays, particularly Shakespeare. I fell in love with Shakespeare. I think I've done a Romeo and Juliet with Cantimpala back in 2007, but I wasn't crazy about Shakespeare yet. Then I auditioned for William for Betis William, and during the rehearsal process, Miss Maribel Legarda, who was the director, invited Professor Judy Ick to talk to the cast about Shakespeare. And as Miss Judy described Shakespeare and the world of Shakespeare, and how he wrote, that's when it sort of like fell into place for me. Like, you know, like a synapse connected in my brain, and I thought, this is really something. I began to understand, you know, people saying, oh, Shakespeare has no subtext, or Shakespeare, you know, all sorts of sayings about Shakes. And then I began to understand, as Professor Judik was speaking about Shakespeare, that whoa, this is something I really wanted to get my teeth sunk into. And so that's pretty much the kind of artist that I am. I love doing Shakespeare, but give me a straight play role, a role in any straight play, and I'd gladly do it. You know, I'd be happy to do it for you. Don't make me sing. You don't want to hear me sing. I still am honing my craft. I'm still at it. I attended quite a number of workshops. The most notable, I would say, was the Sound Sense workshop, the Semiotics workshop by Dr. Anton Juan, who is one of my mentors. I think the mentor of my life. He taught me everything I know about acting. That was under Theatre Actors Guild. And then because I had a really terrible voice for the theater, when I was younger, I attended the voice for the actor workshop by Miss Banawe Miklat Jansen, which I felt that was revolutionary for me. She taught me to breathe, to relax, to how to place the voice, all of that, and how to take care of the voice and the instrument. Whatever she taught me in that workshop, I still practice to this day. And whenever I do teach some basic acting workshop, you know, as theater practitioners, you do get to teach sometimes. I still go back to what she taught me, and you know, and share those tips, that wealth of information to younger actors. I also had the privilege of attending Lesac Kinesthetics, Kinesensics, that's the right term, Lesac Kinesensics intensive with Miss Robin Aronson, and that was really great. I love that. I enjoyed that workshop. So yes, I attend workshops, and these people are sort of my mentors, Anton Juan, Banawe Miklat Jansen, and you know, I return to their teachings again and again and again when I have some trouble in a scene. But how do I hone my craft? I still do. I work out as much as I can, like every day. I warm up my voice, and I take care of the mind. That's something that Dr. Anton told me, like one night. He just pulled me to the side and said, take care of your mind. Take care of your mind. And then that stayed with me. I will tell you though, I think this is a funny story. Some of my mentors, or like the greatest teachers that I have for acting, are not actually teachers, nor are they actors. One of them would be Natalie Goldberg, who wrote Writing Down the Bones, which supposedly helps you break through any writer's block. Interestingly, I found that what she taught in Writing Down the Bones, the writing practice that she teaches even in her books, helps me as an actor. So I have Natalie Goldberg to thank for that. Another would be Anne Rice and Umberto Eco and Sumo Kid and all these novelists, Robert Heinlein, whom I love, Wally Lamb. I love reading fiction as much as I love writing fiction. And I remember I was in um, Oras Diaz, directed by Ricky Abad for Tanghalang Ateneo. And Francis Macalignacio was playing Clytemnestra, Queen Clytemnestra. And it was one of the earliest rehearsals, I think, just within the first week of rehearsal or so. But I was watching her, and she already had like the right sound, the correct gesture, the she's experimenting with the blocking. It almost it almost looks perfect. You could already stage whatever she was offering. And so, I was watching that and I was wondering what's going on here. I thought those like first few rehearsals, it looks like she's already attended 10 secret rehearsals. How come she knows all of this stuff already? So anyway, I I go up to her and I ask parang Shang Francis, how come you already know all of this and everything you're experimenting with parang somehow along the lines na talaga with the text. And Miss Francis, being the generous person that she is, she tells me, she says, you know what I do, she says, I read novels. She says, I love the novels of Stephen King, and when you read a novel, the novelist lets you get into the mind of the characters. Something that playwrights don't do because of the convention of how plays are written. The novelist would allow you to get inside the mind and make you see all sorts of things that the playwright doesn't have the liberty to do. And so she told me that if I read novels, and that will somehow translate into when I read plays, then I would somehow see the character in a different way and be able to enter the psyche of the character. So that encouraged me. I was like, yeah. And I told her, well, I loved Anne Rice. And she said, yeah, go ahead, read Anne Rice. And so a lot of these fictionists, these novelists, sometimes I look up to them as my mentors, because they don't just inspire me to write my own fiction. They also help me as an actor. Strange, but it's true. I can vouch for that. No specific diet. I just, I should really cut down on carbs. Thank you for reminding me that, Mr. Filipino freelance actor Joel. But yes, I will cut down on carbs. But I do have like rituals. In the morning, I meditate. That's what I do. I do something called the morning pages, which is taught by Julia Cameron in her book The Artist's Way, which was, I think a rip-off of Becoming a Writer by Dorothea Brand. But so I wake up in the morning, I do morning pages, and then I sit for 1 hour in meditation, specifically Vipassana meditation, which I took a course to learn. It's a free 10-day course. And they teach you how to do Vipassana, and that's something that I keep up every day. And then after I do Vipassana, I do I go on YouTube and find a yoga instructor, and I follow the yoga, the yoga asanas and the yoga workout on YouTube. So those three are my daily workouts. Just really wake up in the morning, write morning pages, sit in meditation, do yoga. That's every day. Before performances, I warm up my voice. I drink a lot of water. I go to the bathroom, empty my bladder, and then drink more water because I water exited my body. Just keep myself hydrated throughout. That's pretty much it. That and a lot of prayer. That's pretty much my discipline and my ritual. I think this is my calling. I think it's my ikigai, if I pronounced that right. So it is, yes, my passion. Yes, it is also my job. And no, I'm not doing it full time, but I wish I were. Like really acting more frequently, writing a lot. But and yes, it can be a profession. It's all of these things for me. It really is, I think, my calling. And um, I actually suspect that if I act as many times as I should in this lifetime and write the novels I was meant to write in this lifetime, I would, transition already to the next life. But who knows? I don't care what other people say anymore. I used to care a lot what other people say. I have stopped caring, and the sooner I did that, the healthier I became, like mentally, emotionally. So who cares? I mean, maybe in the near future, the far future, I can't say. Maybe in the Philippines, we would get to a state where acting becomes a stable job, something we'll do 8 to 9 hours. We'll all get paid for it, for rehearsals, an 8 hour rehearsal, and then a performance in the evening. Maybe, we don't know, if we get a better president or a better government that recognizes the contribution of the arts to society. But even then, it's just somebody once told me that because if you find your calling, because in this world you will need the financial support to pursue your calling, then you can ask God. You can ask God for the financial support. You can say, "Hi God, you have revealed to me the calling you have for my life. Thank you very much. And by faith, I am pursuing it. I am heeding the call. But the realities of the 21st century dictate that I will need financial support. I will need financial help to be able to pursue this without dying of hunger or being evicted, or because I need electricity, I need internet, I need all sorts of things, I need water to bathe, to drink." So you can actually ask God for financial support, so long as you're keeping to your calling and you're keeping to your end of the deal. You can trust God to keep his end of the deal, to take care of you financially. First tip: subscribe to the Freelance Filipino Actor channel, and then click on the bell thing, so every time TFFA uploads a new video, you get notified. That's the most important tip of all. Second tip, sure, take classes. Not all classes are good, but you will find out which classes are good for you. Be humble. Be always hungry. The worst actors I know are those who are so, I guess, too self-confident. Self-confidence is good, but up to a certain extent, where you feel like when you start believing that you don't need anybody else's input, or you don't need anybody else's wisdom, and you become a certain degree of arrogant, then that's your downfall. So stay humble, stay hungry, hungry to keep creating, and always, always, always be kind to yourself. I think that's the best advice. Be kind to yourself, love yourself, and with this kindness, with this love, share that with others, and shine when you get on that stage. We don't always get that opportunity to be on the stage, and whenever you do, just give it your all, give it your 100%. Never ever be a mediocre artist. That's the worst kind. Usually the arrogant ones, the ones who feel they're already too good, they're the ones who become mediocre. They never push for excellence. They never push themselves towards excellence. So that's sad. Don't be like that actor. I have a YouTube channel, but it has nothing to do with there's nothing to do with acting. There's nothing to do with the arts. It's an appreciation of the novels of Anne Rice. It's called Anne Rice Meditations. I just read a, a paragraph from Anne Rice's books, and then just talk about it for 1 hour straight. So you could sure subscribe to that. I have a social media. I have an Instagram which has nothing in there about acting. Well, just tiny bits. But it's just really me and my books. So because I love books. Then I have my other social media accounts which are very politically laced, so you might not be interested in that. So let me just give you my email address. It's rico.thespian@gmail.com if you want to get in touch with me. That should be fun. Thank you very much, Joel, for making me answer all of these questions and this trip down memory lane. I love you, brother, and I sincerely hope we can share this stage together.